28 made this, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys how to make the most popular beat on my channel at the moment. It was listed as like a cash game key type beat, but in all honesty it's just like a Detroit type beat. So let's get straight into it. So first thing I started with was these piano chords. This is in G sharp minor. I'm at 99 BPM, but I just started with these chords. So I just started playing with the G sharp minor chord to start, and then I played that again, and I just dropped it to a diminished, played the diminished for the rest of it. And then second half, same thing. At the end I just changed this chord, this diminished chord, into a, don't know what this is, don't know what chord it is, to be honest with you, don't know what chord it is, but I just raised the fifth up to the sixth of the scale. And all I have on it is parametric EQ too, cutting out the lows, and just the normal EQ, also cutting out the lows, and then just randomize the velocities a little bit, nothing too crazy. Next thing I did was I added a bell, raised the velocities on these, but I just kind of went in, just added it where it seemed fit. The way I started with this was I put this all in the same note, and I just changed the notes afterwards after I laid down the pattern. And then for the second half, same pattern, just raise this note from the second of the scale to the third of the scale. I'm gonna play that with the piano right now. Next sound I added just was a string. On the fourth bar, just added went from the fifth to the sixth, like this, to add some suspense before it finally releases on the fifth measure. One thing I forgot to mention though was with this piano, I added the bass notes, which is just the root note of the scale. Something you always want to do with Detroit beats is you always want to utilize like a diminished chord or some type of chord that isn't just like the normal minor chord, to add some suspense before it finally releases again. That's how you get the really dark sound. Next sound I added was a vox, which I just copied and pasted the pattern of the string from. Moving on to the drums. Everyone says, how do I get the Detroit drums? How do I get my 808s to hit hard and have that Detroit sound? I'm gonna share the sauce in today's video. First thing, soft clip on the master. Always soft clip on the master. And I know some people aren't gonna like this, but it's a Spins 808 with the boost turned up like 1%.
Ew, dude! What the?
That's it. That's all there is to it. Well, it's shortened too, but just the Spins boost up, shortened like 40%. The 808 pattern. I did with this 808 pattern was I stayed in the chords that I played. So the chords that I played were this and this, and so I stayed within it. It's like, look, D sharp, A sharp here, and then when I go back to the regular minor chord, to B, and I just played the fifth up here. That's that for the 808s. Pretty simple pattern. I just kind of went in on 1/4 beat and then clicked in the notes just wherever I think they would sound good, adjusted, and then I got this pattern. For this beat, I went in with a pitched up snare. So instead of it being this, I went with, pretty simple patterns on 2 and 4. If you were in double time, to be on just the third note of the beat. Next thing, hi-hats, pitched up hi-hat with a roll. I'm gonna play that with the snare. pretty much all my beats, I basically have the roll like either like right before or right after the snare hits, because it adds emphasis on the snare. And then finally the open hat, which I'll play with the metronome on. Usually, this is gonna sound pretty weird, I usually tune my open hats to like the root note, but I didn't do it this time. I didn't like how it sounded on right on C, so I just moved it up an octave. So that's pretty simple. I layered it with the 808 on some parts. So like if you play the 808, also with my open hats, I like to lead them into a snare. You know, again for emphasis. So that's like the main verse. And then for the switch, all I did was I just changed some things around in each of the patterns. For the most part, a lot of it is the same, but some of it isn't. So I'll just go over that right now. The chords are the same. You feel me? Chords are the exact same. Vox and string are the same. That's the string. Same thing as the pattern from the verse. Vox. Same thing. You know, most of the drums, same thing. Except for the hi-hats. The hi-hats is where I switched up. I'll talk about the bells in a minute. But the hi-hats is where I switched it up. I added a roll, a couple more. It has a variation from the verse, roll from the verse before it. Just went in there, added a couple rolls in place that I think would sound nice. I'll play that with the snare. And then with the open hat, I just went in and I added a couple more stuff to layer it with the existing 808. Pretty simple. A lot of my these beats are pretty simple to make. There's not a lot of actually difficulty that goes into it. And then the 808 is where I switched it up. I went in, and one thing I like to do with my 808s is instead of playing the actual 808 first, I like to put in a kick. So I'll literally go in and put down the kick pattern for where I want the 808s to be. And then I'll copy and paste it into the 808 pattern. So that's what I did here, because I just put it where I sound nice, and then where I think it would sound nice. And then I just changed the notes around, and I stayed within the scale. Put the drums all together for the switch. That's that for the drum switch up. And then let's talk about these bells. These bells, I did the same thing as the other one. I played them all on G sharp. Played them all on G sharp, and then I just moved them up into octaves. I just use the cut tool on 1/4 beat to split it up to where I think it would sound good. That's basically that. I'll play the whole pattern right now. That's the bell pattern. This is little switch up. Pretty fire. And as for arranging it, I just did a little like stutter before the beat dropped, and then like for the actual verse into the hook, quote unquote, I just took out the vox in between. Some variation, because these beats are like pretty repetitive, so you always want to add different sounds, take them in and out to add variation. And then for like the hook, you know, I just put the 808 pattern for 2 bars. So that's that, and then just copied and pasted this part like 3 times. And then for the outro, I literally just had the volume taper off, like. So that's basically that. Don't think I missed anything, to be honest. You know, soft flip on the master. I put the EQ up a little bit on the high end. You know, parametric EQ on everything, cut the lows on basically everything. That's it. There's nothing else, to be honest. There's not a lot. This beat isn't very complex. Everything's pretty simple. And that's how it is with most beats. Like most beats, like they're not gonna be that complex. Like if you go, a lot of beats nowadays are pretty simple. It's like a couple sounds and like pretty basic drums. Like this beat doesn't even have perks, to be honest, because it didn't need them. There's already pretty much a lot of rhythm. So yeah, that's basically it. You know, it's the most popular beat on my channel. Thank you guys for 100 subscribers, or actually 150 now. Appreciate y'all. Follow me on Instagram. 28 out.